and I'm in a slump. And I'm trying to wiggle the slump off because it's just what is called writer's block. Definitely writer's block. I'm just not realizing, like, as I'm on this live, that I think I'll flow a lot better, like, when it's time for me to start winding down for the day. Like, when it's later, I think I have more ideas. I don't want to say inspiration, but I think that things flow a little different, I guess, because my mind is more calm. But I'm just on here to distract myself and let the Father talk to me about whatever He had for me to say. And another thing, too, with this body of work, is not at all about, like, me, my intelligence, what I know. I'm just a vessel. Gonna get put off YouTube. I'm just a vessel, so I'm being very careful about making sure that I'm not strong arming this project, and I'm not like trying to show how much I know. Just bring my pride or whatever I feel that I do and who I am into it. So that's another thing that I'm like, dealing with. I'm about to see how it would look if I sat down, because I got my little work area set up for me to stand. Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. We're gonna sit. We're gonna sit. I stood up for a reason, though, because when I was sitting on my bed, it was just, I felt like I needed a change of atmosphere. But I'm just looking over this writing, and it's not really even that much, because I've proofread, re-edited, and reorganized the first. That would be 4.5 pages, and this is literally just a 3-paragraph section that I'm working on right now, because everything after that section, the last 3 pages is already done as well. So it's 9 pages total, and I forgot the first 4.5 and the last 3, 7.5. That's not right. The math is wrong. The math is wrong. But it's 9 pages total, and I'm just working on 3 paragraphs out of the whole 9 pages. It's like 2/3 of 1 page. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Everything else is edited, though. This is just the first chapter of the book. And child, it took me a long time, I'm not gonna lie. What I can say is, with the first when did I create this document? Because that's when this book I really started working on it. I had put it away. I had put it away because, how I was just explaining, I'm trying to make sure I'm not putting, too much of myself into it. That's what I had did, and the Lord set me down and was like, "Girl, this is my book. Like, you don't even know what you're writing about, because I'm writing it." So I really had to humble myself and get into the position where I can be a vessel. But let me see, June 20th? No, that's not the day I started working on this book, because that's the day I was saying I wanted to finish it by. Or was it July 20th? I think it was before June 20th, but I think I might have remade it. Thank you. Thank you. But I can honestly say, it's been a process. It's been a process, and it's really like my first real body of work. So I'm learning as I go, and I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself, because I'm learning as I go with it. But I did not expect to see people commenting. Thank y'all for commenting. Thank y'all. And good night. What time is it? It's only 6:32. What time zone are you in? But I told myself that for today, I have to get that little section finished, and then that's when I'll be able to eat. That's when I'll be able to eat. I'm not gonna eat anything too heavy, but I am sort of hungry. So hopefully that'll motivate me to get this section through. And I did look up some more stuff in regard to like what the book is about, but I didn't want to like pull too much from external sources because you, if you ever written anything or if you ever wrote a paper at school, you know how it is. You have one idea and then you look something up, and you might it'll be inspiring. It'll kind of, oh, that makes me think about this point and that point and that point, and you just start bouncing all over the place. So I've been trying to thank you. What are the crowns next to the names? Okay, YouTube. Hello, how y'all doing? So I've been trying not to pull too much inspiration from anywhere. Where are y'all from? Where are y'all tuning in from? I'm in New Orleans, if you can't tell by the accent. Thank y'all for coming and stopping by. But yes, that's where I'm at with the book. I'm just letting everything else flow to me for this last paragraph or 3. Let's see. Oh, the mic was off. Did I click? Thank you, Roman. Thank you, Roman. I don't know when I clicked that. I hope y'all can hear me now. But I was talking about I'm finally getting to the point where I know how to make content that my target audience can actually engage with on my Instagram page for my business. Before, I would just make content with the assumption that people knew what my business was about. And big learning curve. When you see nobody's interacting with it, it kind of like, I wonder why. And like you make all these adjustments and stuff, and you know what you want to communicate with your audience, but if they don't receive it, or if you're not meeting them where they are, then you're pretty much making your content for no reason. So I'm finally getting to the point where I can learn to meet my audience where they are, and then bring them to a place where I can show them the value that I can add to their life by them following my page or interacting with my community. So I'm happy about that. That's something on the brighter side for tonight, since we're having our writer's block situation right now with the book. But yeah, I'm so excited. Another thing that I'm just learning as I go throughout my process day by day is you're learning as you go. Every day is a new opportunity to learn something. And it's all about the perspective. If you don't have that mindset, or if you don't think about it in a way where it's like, okay, what can I learn from this? Then you're pretty much going to be a Debbie Downer. You're going to be a Debbie Downer. And you're probably going to have a negative mindset. And you're probably going to quit if you're not looking for the lesson in everything that It's happening to you. So just keep showing up and keep your spiritual goggles on, because you got to know, you sow a seed, even if you can't see it, something's happening under that soil. So that's what I've been reminding myself of every day as well, even with the book and with the business. My pages, I don't get the most interaction, so I was kind of shook when I saw I had some comments tonight. But yeah, so my pages, I'm not starting off with 10,000, 20,000, or 30,000 followers or anything like that. But I do know, like I said, you plant a seed and you have to give the Lord something to bless. You have to show him that you're faithful over little. You can't do something when you have 100 followers just because there's only 100 people and then expect the Lord to give you a platform. You're lazy. So I've been reminding myself of that as well. But it's all about staying put and staying consistent. And that's what I've been reminding myself. I'm showing up 181 followers every day, okay? Faithfully. And that's just how I've been rolling with it. That's just how I've been rolling with it. But the people will find it. If the Lord has it for them to come to my page, then that'll be what it is. I lost a nail two nails putting clothes in a washing machine, and I haven't gotten around to putting them back on. But yeah, that's where we're at with everything. My business page is Soul Ascended on Instagram. I help creative women steward their gifts through surrendering to Christ. I help them find their purpose and their passions, and really just align them with where the Lord wants them to use it, instead of living a purposeless life or like an aimless life. And I can tell y'all, I know too much about that journey because I have lived it 5, 6, 7 times over. When I tell you I was making business after business, starting business after business, domains, LLCs, all types of Shopify websites, Squarespace. I know a little bit about every web developer because I've tried every one because of how many businesses I've tried to make. Making logo after logo on Canva, and once I finally came to the Lord, everything, like my gifts, my talents, all of it made sense. And he just helped me recognize, like, child, I've been here the whole time. I've been trying to tell you what to do with what I gave you. So that's what my business is purposed for. This is the page. So I know it's gonna be backwards, but Soul Ascended, SOL Ascended on Instagram. If y'all are interested in that kind of stuff, y'all can give it a follow. Like I said, finally starting to get the swing of what kind of content my audience can expect and that they can relate to. So I will be posting more things in that realm. Right now, I'm doing like little text carousel posts and stuff. So we gonna make that shift eventually. But yeah, I'm just staying humbled every day, humbling myself all over every day, dying to the flesh, giving up what I want to say, what I want to do to serve a greater purpose. Thank you. Thank you. Romania, how y'all doing? What time is it there? Whoa. YouTube is global. YouTube is global. AM? 2:42 a.m.? Oh, you up late. It's time for bed. It is time for bed. 2:42 a.m. I haven't seen that hour in so long. But I can understand. Hope today to work. Yep. That's why I said I can understand, because I figured it was probably something with work, finally having an off day or having to work. I understand it all too well. All too well. I remember working at Amazon and we would have to wait for the drivers to come back, and I would be there so late. One time I was at work at like 11 p.m. and I was like, okay, I gotta make something work. I can't be here this late anymore. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, I don't need to see this hour again. Thank you. My eyes. That's the first time I ever got that compliment. Thank you. But yes, that is all I have going on today. I'm working on a book and I'm stuck. And I'm just figuring some other things out with the business, but I told myself that I couldn't eat until I finished working on this part of my book. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. Romania. Let's see. Wow, on a plane, it would take 1 day and 10 hours to get there. That's far. This is an Aqua Transylvania. Okay, we getting fictional. Okay, I hope this not cliche, but I didn't even know that was a real place because of like the movies and stuff. But okay, what language? Romanian. I didn't know that was a language either. Learn something new every day. It says it's closely related to Italian, Spanish, and French. Latin. Jacket. So I'm working on a book about anxiety, and pretty much I don't want to say the origin of it because the origin, but it's a book about defeating anxiety and how it manifests in your life. I'm using the teaching is mainly out of the Bible. The teachings are mainly out of the Bible. So that's why I want to make sure I'm not rushing through it and, quickly just putting something on the pages, because I want to make sure that it's God led. I don't want to put too much of Jemiah's intellect into it. I'm interested in psychology. I've been in and out of school for psychology for so many years, and I just want to make sure I'm not putting too much of like that carnal view on it and that medical terminology and stuff like that. So I've been kind of back and forth with it. But I think that once we finish this chapter tonight, once we finish this chapter tonight, that'll be like the main, I'll be over that main, the biggest roadblock I would see, because the first chapter is all about explaining the whole, what anxiety truly is. So once I actually explain it, it'll be a lot easier to roll out the rest of the chapter. So thank you. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Giving me encouragement. Y'all helping me. Y'all got me ready to type. Now I'm ready to put some fingers to the keyboard now. But yeah, I'm just gonna probably spend a little more time looking over this. Definitely not gonna eat, gotta keep my word to myself. I'm not gonna eat until I get it figured out, but that's all I have going on today, y'all. How was y'all's day? What area? We got Romania, Transylvania in the building. Where's everybody else from? I see 4 people. And then we have CJ Jr. CJ Jr. Good vibes only. You know, yeah, good vibes only. You are not black. You are like me. What that mean? What that mean right there? You are not black. You are like me. Skin color? You talking about complexion? Oh, what's up? They are knocked out. Today I gave my dogs a bath. When I tell y'all, I had to get in the shower after. Well, I say my dogs, but I have a foster dog, and then I have my resident dog, my dog. And when I tell you, the foster dog, he is a husky shepherd mix. So much hair. So much hair. It was everywhere. And he just kept shaking the moment the water touched him. So I was, whew, I was drenched in everything that I didn't want to be drenched in. So had to get in the shower immediately. But when I tell y'all, I had to go out there super early because it's so hot out here in New Orleans. The high was 93 degrees despite this storm and stuff that's supposed to be coming in. It was 93 degrees for the high today. But I went out there at 6 because it was only, I think it was like 81 degrees early this morning. So I was able to do that. No color, no religion. It's just you and me. You flirting? Callan. Am I saying your name right? Callan? Yeah, I don't subscribe to religion though. I don't. Yeah. I try not to get into that. Because I believe real religion is just like a set of actions. That's how I define religion. Some people think of it as, you know, your specific denomination and stuff, but I define it as like set action. Somebody saying that you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to be a believer of X, Y, and Z. I think that's what religion is. I think religion is principles without the practice. So you're defining yourself as something by doing something, but you don't actually. Church going type, not at the moment. That's something that I'm working with the Lord about, because like I just said with the religion thing, but I also believe that church isn't the only place where you can have a relationship with the Most High. So that's just my beliefs about it. But that is, or I would say it is one of my desires. I would like to be able to go to a church home and just experience that stewardship and fellowship with other believers in Christ. But not at the moment. I don't have a church home. And when I use the word church, everybody defines church differently, but thank you. I say the name right. Look at me. No, don't be no, not in love with me. But when I think of church, the connotation is sort of negative, and like I said, we debunking everything, you know, we getting aligned with what's the truth. But when I think of church, I think of religion. So I was looking into different ministries, different types of ministries that are in my area, but it's New Orleans. I don't know if y'all familiar with the history, but a lot of voodoo, a lot of beliefs and other stuff that I even got myself wrapped up in. So it's not really much available, but I have been watching the services at a few churches and ministries in my area just to get a feel for it before I go. But just from what I've seen, a lot of people or a lot of ministries in my city are like kind of superficial. Like the pastors are doing outfits of the day, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but it's more so about the people that's behind the pulpit and not the word of the Lord. So I've been real careful about that and making sure I don't just jump into something just to say I go to church or to have that itching ear because, you know, of course I want to hear the word of the Lord, but I just don't want to run up in anybody's church and be running back home. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to stay humble with everything. Greek Orthodox. I don't know much about that. Let me look it up real quick. I like learning new things. But y'all, one thing I can say, the pride, like I have a lot of pride, and that's something else I did want to like make sure I'm unraveling before I go out. And I don't know, I don't want to say share the word of the Lord like I'm you know, up here or something, but that is something I wanted to work with him more on, because pride can lead you, it can make you operate from a place of entitlement and just haughtiness. Like you can be puffed up in your heart. So I did want to make sure that I'm a little more humble than things, so I'm not offended at every little thing and twisting my neck. And we believe in God. Let me see. AI gave me an answer about the Greek Orthodox, so correct if any mistake. Christians. Okay, yeah. Is this like history? Founded in Balkans in the Middle East during the first century AD. So do y'all believe in, well, if you're Christian, you believe in the resurrection of Christ. Church as an origin with Jesus Christ and earth, Holy Spirit, now the human teacher group, Jesus goes God philosophy. So y'all believe in the resurrection of Christ as well, if I'm reading correctly. Use communities. Time of persecution. Okay. Chief Keef is crazy work. You need to pray. But thank you though. That must mean my hair look nice. But yes, I see. Okay, learn something new today. Greek Orthodox. I saw a video about I understand. Sometimes I get the inkling too, but I realize like it's gonna come back. You know, like it's gonna come back, and I have to realize like what, you know, where it's coming from within me. But I was saying I saw a video about new age women versus Christians, and one of the girls, I forgot where she was from, but she knew a lot about different denominations and just walks. Like her family traveled a lot, I think. And so she had a little bit about she knew a little bit about everything. And she said something about the Greek Bible and just how, you know, the works in the Bible differed. And I was like, that's a lot. You know, it can be kind of intimidating when you're first coming into Christ and like you learning all of this stuff. And she was like, oh, all of these books were taken out. And I'm like, what? All I knew about was the Apocrypha. And you coming and saying all these different books were taken out? So yeah, but learn something new. Thank you. The bands and the mouth work. So the rubber bands, they have like different strengths, and then they use the prescribe the rubber bands to different people for different purposes. Mine is to correct my bite, so I have it goes up here and it connects to these two down here. So what they're trying to fix with mine is before I started using these rubber bands, when I would smile or bite down, I'm sorry, I got chalk all in my mouth. When I would smile and bite down, these teeth were like a little further back. So what they're doing is pulling it closer to the front so that when I bite, my teeth will be correctly aligned. And I think I'll have one or two stronger strength that I'll be going up. I explained that horribly, but I'll be going up in a stronger strength eventually, and they'll correct the bite more and more over time. But I know sometimes they use it to like pull the teeth down as well. So it's just different. Are they uncomfortable? You get used to them. You get used to them. When I first got them, I had like the thinnest rubber bands, and those weren't uncomfortable. But once they switched me to these, and they did it within a month, I thought that I would have like a little more time on the first prescription they gave me, but they switched me to these, and these are the Seal, I think. I went through it. I couldn't bite down for, I think it was like 4 days. I couldn't even eat what was it I was trying to eat? It was something potatoes. Not French fries, but like you know how you put potatoes in an air fryer and you know like wedges. It wasn't even a wedge. It's just like you chop it up, smothered potatoes kind of. I couldn't even eat. So it was uncomfortable, but now I'm used to it. For certain days I be forgetting to put them in. So once I forget and I put them in, you know, you kind of have to get used to them again, but it's never gonna hurt as much as it did when you first got the rubber bands. But I like it. I hope that they move a little faster with my treatment because I'm ready to see my teeth. I'm ready to see the results. You know, like I'm ready. How long will you have to keep in for the rubber bands or the braces? And then if you mean the rubber bands, do you mean like how many hours out the day? I don't know what I did, but now that you saying something about my hair, I can see exactly which side I was sleeping on. This side look, and this one, we gonna get it. All of them, the braces, I probably have about a year and a half left on the braces, and then with the rubber bands, I know for sure I'm not gonna be wearing them to the end of my treatment. So for the rubber bands, I probably see 4 to 6 months, and then the braces probably a year. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for because at my big old age, I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to feel like come on with it, you know, like I'm ready. Like I'm gonna be 30 in a couple years, you know, that time is coming, you know, it's approaching. So I'm ready to get them out. And then with the way like my mouth sit, so I feel like when I talk, it look like I don't have teeth in my mouth. Like if I'm smiling, you can tell. But since I have the braces, my lip is sitting up, and when I talk, you see how like if I'm just relaxed face, you can't see my top teeth. And I understand that's a part of how my face is made, but it just you know it just don't. I just don't feel like it fits me anymore. So I'm ready. That's not only a year in perfect. True. That's true. I have to remind myself sometimes too. Growing up, I was very insecure about my smile and my teeth. So when I get to the point where I'm like frustrated with the braces and all of the extra care and water flossing and I was like, you know what? You can the smile you want. You know, like you. This is what you always dreamed of. This is little Maya's dream. So be grateful. But I can definitely. I'm looking forward to that day when they snapping everything off and I feel straight teeth in my mouth and no metal. I'm ready. Another thing too, the naps. A message is held for review. I hope this ain't nothing crazy. I'm not gonna show that comment. Am I into comics? No. No, I never really looked into it. Thank you. I never really looked into comics. I figured that I might eventually get exposed to that, because I do have a child. I have a 5-year-old, and I figured that he might eventually get into that kind of stuff. His dad is interested in that kind of stuff, so I figured he might pick back on it. Good night. Have a good night's sleep. Keep your eyes closed. Turn the lights out. Wind down. But no, I'm not into comics. I did watch anime a few different times, but none of them ever really like. I ain't gonna say none of them stuck out to me. I just couldn't get like just hooked on the whole thing. It was just like a few of them that stuck out to me. I remember I watched this one romance anime. I think it was on Crunchyroll. I don't remember what it was called, but it was pretty good. I like all the basic ones: Hunter x Hunter, Demon Slayer, all of the scratch on the surface animes. I never really got like deep into it. I'm not like a real fan or anything, but it's interesting. I can see they have some of the best storylines, and just like with anime, I like it. But the ones that I did watch, I like it because the stories just develop and develop and develop. Like they don't. It never gets boring. Like every time you turn the TV on, you know for sure you're getting a show. But yeah, haven't read any comics or anything. My brother and sister love what's that called? What umbrella is Captain America and Iron Man and all of them under? The Hulk. Marvel? I think that's Marvel. They like that. When I tell you, big fans. And I got this Black Adam shirt on. I don't know what this from or where it's from, but it's just a shirt. But my brother and sister love the Marvel characters and stuff, and they do have like a few of the little trinkets and stuff like that. But like I said, I just never got into it. I spent a lot of time on the computer in my childhood years, and I'm still on the computer. That's how I end up where I'm at. But I spend most of my time like on the creative side, just making stuff. I do a lot of DIY. I enjoy doing DIY. I love looking up ways I can make something myself, or if I see something I like in a store, I would intentionally not buy it to see if I can go home and make it. So that's kind of more the realm I grew up in, and then that's kind of more so of what I'm interested in now. I like gardening, right? Just anything creative, anything I can put my hands or my mind to. You got me. You got me. I've been making YouTube videos since I was like 8 years old, and I used to get in trouble for it because I was stealing my mama camera. But that's what I like right there. I like just creating graphics. I remember being turning 30, yeah, in how many years? In 4 years, turning 30. But just creating graphics and anything creative. That's what my business is based out of as well. Helping women who kind of grew up with, like me, or have very similar qualities in a way, where you just a natural creative, and because of that, you haven't been able to find that placement or that footing in anything that you try to create or that you get into. So, yep. But yes, turning 30 in 4 years. I said that like it's around the corner earlier, but 4 years away. It's 4 years away. I don't want to. I ain't going to say I don't care, because I don't even celebrate birthdays. Well, my birthday. But what's the matter? What's the matter? What's up? Spirit is about to start demanding attention. My foster dog. But yes, I don't really even think about it. I just realized the other day that I was 26 because it was my uncle's birthday, and my cousin asked me how old he was turning. Not he don't have kids, my uncle. One of my cousins asked me how old my uncle was turning, and I was like, oh, he's turning 40. And then I was like, wait, how old are you? And he was like, I'm turning 47. I'm like, you 47? So if you 47 and you up in age, that means and I thought about like, oh my gosh, I'm 26. The time flies. And I don't count it because I don't measure my life in time. I measure it with by experience. Because if you worried about the time, then you are going to have a hard time. Okay, okay, a very hard time. And it's just not something I ever seen like my mama do, or even my grandma. Excuse me. My grandma is six. I don't want to say the wrong age, but she was riding a bike. She was riding a bike the other day. Like she fell off the bike, got back up, and was riding a bike again. So I don't really worry about age and stuff. Why don't you celebrate your special day? You should try. Why don't I celebrate? I don't know. I just feel like it's any other day. I feel like it's a regular day, you know. I remember one year, I think it was like I was turning 22. I was working at a Walmart and one of my coworkers, he was like really really upset with me, like, and I mean upset to the point where you can see the emotion. He was upset with me because I wouldn't buy myself a birthday cake. And that's the first time I realized that like birthdays, I always knew like other people like to celebrate their birthdays in different ways, but that's the first time I realized like, okay, like this is very emotional for some people. And I always kind of like disregarded it. And I didn't realize that until that year. But I started noticing after that when it came to like people that I was, in association with, like past friends and stuff, when it came to their birthdays, I'm not the person that's gonna send a long birthday text. And I started to pick up on like, okay, people kind of expect that because everybody views their birthday in a different way. But so as far as celebration for myself, I never really been into it. Despite me just telling y'all I had a whole lot of pride, I'm not the one to put myself at the center of attention. So I think that kind of like translated into the birthday thing maybe. But like I said, I do have a 5-year old, and I had to break myself out of that because naturally kids, they want to have, I'm not even gonna say every kid, but I know for my child, he is very sociable and he loves helping people. And this year he told me he wanted to help people for his birthday. So I had to do something. So I'm, preparing myself for the time that's gonna come when he wants to have a party and he wants to go all out, and I'm just gonna position myself to be able to do that. But as far as myself, I don't think I'll ever get to that point. I just don't think it's, I'm not gonna say important, but I really don't think it matters. I don't know why. I just never really cared for it. But I will go to friends, family's birthday party and of course buy them a gift and celebrate them if that's what they decide to do. But I never really like went all out for it for myself. I just went on a whole tangent about birthdays. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Look at this IKEA hack. it looks like I'm gonna be going to sleep fasted tonight, y'all. This book. I'm still slumped. I need some chapstick. Hold on. What's up, Spirit? I am still need to go for dinner. I'm gonna try it. Go out for dinner or just some me time. I'm gonna go ahead and try that. I have to wait a whole lot of months for that to come around again, but I'm actually gonna give that a try. I'm gonna give that a try. I've been meaning to spend a lot more time with myself. What's the matter? Huskies talk. I don't know if they told y'all, but Huskies talk. What's up? he lets me know when he needs something every time. But I'm gonna go ahead and give that a try because I've been meaning to spend a lot more time with myself and just take myself on a date. You know, it's crazy out here, you know. It's crazy out here. I'm also like trying to get more involved with my family, just going around them more, spending more time with them, and bringing my son with me to these things because I had got this whole idea in my head about my family, and I kind of like not even just my family. I just really isolate myself from people, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy because you don't get to experience life and you don't get to experience people. So I'm definitely gonna try that. I'm definitely gonna try that, and then just start going out more, coming out of the shell, ripping the seams off. That's what I was trying to do with I was trying to get myself in like the in preparation for we getting a foster dog. Just going out more and stepping outside of my comfort zone because I spent a lot of time there. Like if nobody came to knock on my door, guess who y'all would never see? Me. No, I don't have Facebook. I have Facebook. It's only for my foster dog though. I don't post on it or anything. But yeah, I just be inside, y'all. I just be inside. I started sweating when I seen y'all start commenting. I'm gonna be honest. Because like I said, I didn't expect anybody to come on here. And I was about to start, I was gonna exit off once I seen like, oh my gosh, they're actually interacting with me. I was gonna exit off because I got shy. But it's like I was just saying, faithful over little, faithful over much. So we praise him. We praise him. What's up, Spirit? He is up and ready for action, huh? What's up? You're so handsome. You're so handsome. You were so handsome. He made me realize anything else to go to moon and back. What you mean? Go to the moon and back. Moon and back. You mean like socials? What I say? He ready for action. I'm completing the first chapter. Still stuck on those 3 paragraphs in that chapter. I have to get my charger. I'm finishing up with the first chapter. It's been about 2 months, you know. But I gotta get that perfectionist out the way because that definitely held me back some. But first chapter, I did have a goal of 2 days ago. I was saying I was gonna finish the first and second chapter. But as y'all can see, I'm still on chapter 1. But I think I'm pretty sure we're gonna get this chapter completed tonight with a little bit of reflection and just taking a break, you know. I'll be able to go back in it with fresh eyes and stuff, so something will come to me. Let's travel. You must not have heard nothing I said, CJ. You must not have heard nothing I said, huh? Say we don't go outside. I don't go outside. But that is something I want to do, traveling. I have on my bucket list. I was actually just looking up tiny house builds and stuff. Where are you from? I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana, United States. But I was just looking up the tiny houses and stuff. That's something I had wanted to do for a long time when I first graduated high school. Like that was my biggest goal. And then other stuff happened. But I was just looking at the builds that they do on top of the trailers. And just looking at like the code building this to code and everything, and then eventually or hopefully building one that I can like attach to a truck and travel with. But they have to be really small. And like I said, I have a 5-year-old, and I will have to work it out in a way where it fits with my co-parenting schedule, as well as like it'll be comfortable when he is with me and stuff. But traveling, that is something that's on my bucket list. I did want to do that so that I can travel like the states and stuff and just see different areas, because to be honest with y'all, I haven't been outside of the United States. I'm 26 and I haven't stepped foot out of the soil of the US yet. And I haven't even left the South really. I've been to Florida, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, all of the basic ones, but I've never been outside of their bubble. Your generation age? I mean, if you around 26, I don't really know like how the generations are defined, but I'm only 26. But yes, still young. 89. So you should be like 35, right? 35, 34, 36, maybe. But yeah, that's a goal. And you're right, still young. I have time to do that and stuff, so don't want to get too overwhelmed with it. 36, I figured. I my sister is born in 94, so I kind of had a that's how I was able to have more of an idea of like their age. But I don't know what you mean by am I on your generations, on your generation age. That's like two different generations, I would say. 80, and then I'm born in 1999. If that help you get a if that help you get a idea of how young I am. I always think about it like you can hit somebody's age, but it's completely different when you hit a year that they born in, because that's gonna really tell you like, okay, you have an idea of what you were doing and how old you were in that age. I mean, in that year. But I'm always so shocked when I go to like grocery stores and stuff, and like in here I'm young, right? And I go to the grocery store and it's like an 18-year-old behind the counter. And like I respect it, I love the respect. I love when people can recognize when someone is older than them and they honor that. But it always shocked me when I see like a 18 or 22-year-old saying yes ma'am, or they refer to me as that lady or that woman. It's like, not saying I don't want to grow up or anything, but it always, I be like, what? Like, girl, we only like 6 years apart. We like 6 years apart. You talking about ma'am? But I understand it. I actually do like it, because that means it must be some type of maturity there. It must be some type of presentation there. But yeah, that's something that always give me a little chuckle. So thank you. Now see, that's a compliment right there. That's a compliment right there. That's humbled. I'm humbled. Whew. I gotta stop bending my knees, y'all. I have to stop sitting on my knees. Because although I'm 26, I messed myself up in 2019 lifting weights, lifting heavy weights consistently every day. I didn't really even have rest days, and then I went to work at Amazon as a driver. And I tore my knees up. I was jumping out those vans and running and all type of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. So now I have to be a little more careful with my knees and stuff. But that's the only aging happening over here, okay? And that's really just wear and tear. But yeah, y'all, that's what I have going on. Thank y'all for interacting with me. I really appreciate y'all. Kaylin, Colin, I forgot how I said it the first time you said I said it right. But good night to you, even though it's the next day for you. And then CJ, thank you for interacting. Appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. I'm about to get in here and lock in with this book. And just get on what I'm supposed to be doing, y'all. I'm the distraction turned it to 55 minutes, so I gotta get back to what I'm doing. Hopefully we can talk again. Y'all check out my videos. I have an Instagram page at Soul SOL Ascended ASCENDED. Can you hug me? We're gonna do air hugs. This is what me and my son do. Like if we've been outside and I have on bug spray and he took a bath, or if it's opposite, we do air hugs. So giving y'all air hugs. Don't get suffocated by the muscles or nothing like that. Giving y'all air hugs. Good night.